wouldn't want to do that because that'll tarnish his legacy as well as my legacy.
You're supposed to want to stay retired and relax and have a nice life.
I changed my mind.
Why? What have you got to prove? You've proven everything throughout your career.
Floyd Mayweather critiques Manny Pacquiao's return at 46 to fight Mario Barrios, calling it a mistake that could tarnish his legacy. He argues the comeback is driven by money, not glory, and says Pacquiao is no longer in his prime, risking damage to the greatness he's already built.
Whereas Pacquiao, at his age, which is sad that he has to fight.
An analyst suggests Manny Pacquiao's return at 46 is more about smart marketing than boxing glory. The fight against Mario Barrios is seen as a strategic move to generate massive revenue. With his legendary name, Pacquiao is expected to draw attention and profit, regardless of the bout's competitive significance.
And of course, we don't want permanent injury po kahit kahit po kay Anpo, but I want him to be knocked out. But the reason why I wanted that to happen is that if Manny Pacquiao is really considering of coming back to professional boxing, I think that would be a good measurement and sign and a marketing for him when he returned to boxing.
Manny Pacquiao, at nearly 46 years of age, is preparing for a professional return against Mario Barrios. This announcement has sparked intense debate in the boxing world, with fans and analysts questioning the wisdom of a comeback so late in his career. In his most recent exhibition fight, Pacquiao appeared far from his former self, showing clear signs of ring rust and diminished speed. Now stepping into the ring with a young, hungry champion, the Filipino legend faces skepticism, not just about his chances, but about his motives.
So Mario Barrios and Manny Pacquiao are finalizing a deal to fight in the summer. Now, Manny Pacquiao is, I think, close to 40 years old, if not already 40. Why is he still boxing? We've seen how he looked in his last exhibition against Ampo. I'm telling you right now, if this fight ever happens, which it probably will, this fight will happen, most likely. If he gets in there with Barrios, he's gonna get whooped and possibly even stopped. Let me know what y'all think about this fight down below. Manny's already done the most legendary thing you could ever do in boxing. A-Division world champion. No one's ever done that, and probably no one will ever do it again. So why does he want to keep fighting these young guys? I don't know, man. I don't know. But let me know what y'all think what's down below.
Pacquiao expressed that his return wasn't fueled solely by competition or money. According to him, he came to realize that the sport of boxing still has love for him, and he still loves it back. After spending years in political life and taking a step back from active fighting, Pacquiao says he feels the calling of the ring again.
You're supposed to want to stay retired and relax and have a nice life.
I changed my mind and I realized thinking that the boxing still love me and I love boxing, so why not? I'm not continuing my journey in boxing.
Now, a lot of people have the question how busy you are as a senator and how is that going to play into you preparing for a fight, because preparing for a fight takes your heart and your soul, and you already have a very difficult job as a senator.
Just time management, discipline. I can still manage working in the Senate and then training.
I'm curious.
Pacquiao isn't just returning for nostalgia. He's stated his intent is to close his boxing chapter with a statement, a final run that ends with victory, perhaps even another world title. For a fighter who has already secured a place in history, ending his career with a bang is more than symbolic, it's personal. He wants his last moment in the sport to be one of triumph, not decline.
The WBC president Mauricio Suleiman has said Mario Barrios will face Manny Pacquiao this July. That's some crazy shit, bro. That's some crazy news. Manny Pacquiao is 46 years of age. He's making his return to the ring. And he said he wants to go out with a bang. He wants to finish his career as a champion. That's some crazy shit. Manny Pacquiao's professional record currently stands at 62 wins, 39 of those coming via knockout, 8 losses and 2 draws. Manny Pacquiao has one of the most impressive CVs in the sport of boxing. Just take a look at from 09 Ricky Hatton all the way up until here. There's so many names: Timothy Bradley, Manuel Marquez, Shane Mosley, Joshua Clotley, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, Jesse Vargas. Like, there's so many names on this list. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at Mario Barrios' record. 29 wins, 18 of those coming via knockout, 2 losses and 1 draw on his resume. What do I make of this fight? I don't know, you know. I mean, listen, this is a young man's sport. I ask myself, Manny Pacquiao, why do you want to come back and fight a younger fighter? You know what I mean? Mario Barrios, who is the current champion, who's the WBC champion. Why? What have you got to prove? You've proven everything throughout your career. So I don't know what to say, but anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and watch a clip of the president of WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, talk about this.
As of now, Mario Barrios is the WBC champion. So who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. He wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
Why does he come out of retirement and get a WBC title shot in his first fight?
Because it's something that WBC has respected. Sugar Ray Leonard was retired 4 years when he requested to fight Marvin Hagler and defeated Hagler. So we do have that provision in the rules. A legendary champion with the credentials such as Manny Pacquiao. He has been medically cleared, licensed by Nevada, so we have voted in favor to allow that fight to happen.
Adding fuel to the conversation, boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. took a shot at Floyd Mayweather's legacy, especially in regard to his win over Pacquiao. Roy implied that Mayweather's victory came against a past his prime Pacquiao and shouldn't be celebrated as a conquest over the Filipino at his best.
I would not be able to take credit for beating Pacquiao after he got knocked out by Marquez, because that's not the same Pacquiao.
Of course.
That's not the Pacquiao at the top of his game.
Yeah, of course.
But in society today, we'll call that person the best fighter ever.
Of course.
When that's not how that goes. That's not reality. But in the business world, it is, because look how much money he made.
YouTuber Showbiz the Adult once shared his awkward encounter with Floyd Mayweather when he tried to mention that Pacquiao, or any other fighter, might be greater than Floyd. The boxing icon allegedly shut him down, and even threw accusations that Pacquiao was on performance-enhancing drugs. These comments underline Mayweather's need to maintain dominance in any conversation about boxing greatness, and hint at how threatened he may feel by Pacquiao's legacy.
Here we go! Who's greater than me? I said, Sugar Ray Robinson. He said, Sugar Ray Robinson, how many wins he got? I said, he got like over 150 wins. He stopped for a minute. He said, but who got more championship titles, me or him? I said, hold on, Floyd. He said, answer the question. I said, Floyd, there's more titles now than then. There was just one then. That's no fair. Answer the question. I said, okay, you. Do I not have 28 titles? And I was just like, I don't know. He said, oh, you're supposed to be the expert. But the reason why I said that is because there's minor and major titles. Who else greater than me? I said, Henry Armstrong, Roberto Duran. He said, oh my God. He said, you said something about Pacquiao. Yeah, I said, I think you'll beat Pacquiao every day of the week, but I think he had a greater career. He said, you ain't think Pacquiao was on steroids? I said, he didn't fail any tests, Floyd. He said, look at me in my eyes. I can't say, man, he didn't fail. He said, oh man, you faked. I saw that as a initiation. This is what you about to get. Nobody's greater than Floyd. My thing is, he should feel that way, but you can't expect everybody to feel that you're the greatest, Floyd.
Pacquiao's return has not been universally welcomed. Many fans feel disappointed, worried that the legend could tarnish his pristine career. Social media platforms are filled with posts expressing concern for his health and disbelief that he would take such a risk at this stage. The boxing world stands divided. Some admire the courage, others criticize the decision.
Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios is a done deal. Fight will either happen July 19th or July 26th in Las Vegas or San Antonio. And it's not going to be a pay-per-view. It's going to be free on Amazon Prime. Whew. We blast Jake Paul for these types of fights. And yet a current world champion in Mario Barrios is going to go after Manny Pacquiao. Listen, I get it. You get to share the ring with the legend of Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest to all ever do it. But he's been retired now. He's already in the Hall of Fame. Manny Pacquiao did not look good in his previous exhibition he did last year either. Mario Barrios should easily run laps around Manny Pacquiao, destroy him. Why are we wasting time with this type of fight? It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Pacquiao hasn't stayed silent about Mayweather either. He previously took subtle digs at Floyd's string of exhibition fights, suggesting they lack true sporting value. Pacquiao implied that Floyd was chasing easy money rather than legacy, and that the desire to stay relevant might finally be catching up with him. The shade thrown reflects how unresolved their rivalry remains, even outside the ring. Despite facing each other a decade ago, the tension between Mayweather and Pacquiao has never really gone away. Floyd continues to remind everyone that he defeated Manny, while Pacquiao's fans argue that the fight came too late to be truly decisive.
Manny Pacquiao he's not a better fighter than me.
Floyd, what is your assessment of Manny Pacquiao and his shoulder injury?
Come on. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Excuses, excuses, excuses. He was throwing combinations. Everything seemed just fine. He lost. He know he lost. I lost a lot of respect for him. You know, you fight. If you lose, it's okay. Mayweather was the better man. We fight 10 times, I'm gonna win 10 times. We fight 20 times, I'm gonna win 20 times. We fight 100 times, I'm gonna win 100 times. Manny Pacquiao, you're not on my level. Manny Pacquiao, you will never be on my level, period. Simple and plain. It's okay to be number 2. It's okay to be right behind me. It's okay. I won. I know I won. I know I'm the better fighter. Manny Pacquiao spoke about that he shouldn't have.
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather, yeah.
Because it's a time and a place for everything. I'm not gonna say he's right and I'm not gonna say he's wrong. You know, but it's so crazy. When he spoke about it, I could have easily came out and said, yeah, you spoke about it. I ain't have to say nothing. Just by you saying my name, they gave me a check for $4 million. He said my name when he didn't supposed to. Remember I said, it's a time and a place for any and everything.
Their feud even spilled into court. In 2009, Pacquiao filed a defamation lawsuit against Mayweather, who had publicly accused him of steroid use. While the case was settled, the bitterness it left behind only cemented their Cold War. Their legacy battle wasn't just confined to the ring, it extended to press conferences, interviews, and courtrooms.
Rayfield and Dan, what is Pacquiao hoping to accomplish with this lawsuit?
Well, I know that the negotiations for this fight have been ongoing, but I just got off the telephone with Daniel Petrocelli, who is the attorney for Manny Pacquiao, literally moments before coming on the air, and I asked him that exact question. And his point was, regardless of whether or not they're negotiating this fight, that that the comments that they alleged that the Mayweather people had made were irresponsible and reckless and malicious, and they had to answer it no matter what. And so they felt like they had no choice but to file the lawsuit, regardless of whether or not the fight takes place.
Dan, from the outside, it looks like both camps could be potentially hyping up this fight more. What's your read on this?
That is absolutely not true, and I can understand because of the history of what goes on.
Regardless of current controversies, Pacquiao's career achievements remain unrivaled. He's the only boxer in history to win titles in 8 different weight classes, covering an astonishing range from flyweight to light middleweight.
He also has a case for greatest fighter, pound for pound, who ever lived. Think about, by the way, I don't think he wins that argument. Sugar Ray Robinson is safely ensconced in that position. But Henry Armstrong, Muhammad Ali, Harry Greb, Sam Langford, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker, whoever else you want to mention, put Pacquiao's resume up to those guys. Bill James, the great baseball sabermetrician, had a way of ranking baseball players that I came across as a kid and thought, that's really smart. You have to rank them at their best, and then also over the course of their careers. Because when you have that argument, are you talking about who accomplished the most, or what heights did they reach? What peak did they reach?
Promoter Eddie Hearn acknowledged Pacquiao's greatness, but didn't shy away from addressing the dangers. At 45, with years of inactivity behind him, there's real concern that Pacquiao may not live up to expectations.
It's a very contentious subject, like, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like, we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's 2 questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots, and Barrios is not Crawford. You know, and that's why, you know, we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, like, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually Pacquiao is a step up. You know, people were still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benn is Boots, you know, but he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Former champion Tim Bradley shared similar doubts, going further to say that this fight feels like a cash grab rather than a meaningful sporting endeavor. According to Bradley, Mario Barrios, Pacquiao's upcoming opponent, has the momentum, youth, and skill to potentially end Pacquiao's career brutally. For Bradley, this isn't just risky, it's potentially harmful.
Pacquiao getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, you know, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money. One, two, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring, man, against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, you know, a fighter, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, you know, bigger fighter, knows how to, you know, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, you know, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. You know, that Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically cause him to go back into retirement once again. But again, what they say, the last thing that leaves is the power. If Manny got any of that power still left in him, if he lands that left hand, he can hurt the young gun. So, but that's easier said than done.
There's deep symbolism in Pacquiao's choice to fight for the WBC welterweight title. The WBC was the organization that crowned him champion when he first rose to global prominence. By targeting this belt again, Pacquiao seems to be aiming to bring his career full circle. If Pacquiao manages to defeat Barrios, the boxing world could be looking at a potential mega clash with Gervonta Tank Davis. Both are southpaws, both explosive, and both have massive fan bases. This hypothetical matchup could capture global attention, offering one last super fight for Pacquiao to headline.
Gervonta Tank Davis has a 6 to 7 fight deal with the PBC and Amazon for $200 million. That's like $30 million a fight. All right. He also has a fight date for November. El Rayo team has said they're not fighting this year. So he's not the guy. So the question is, who is the guy who is willing to fight Tank by November and could build the fight into a fight worth $30 million? Y'all must be out y'all minds if y'all think that Manny Pacquiao versus Gervonta Tank Davis isn't a huge fight. That'll probably be his biggest fight ever. Y'all know that's a big fight because the boxing fan today, they know Tyson, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. That's who they know.
Pacquiao's return follows a growing trend among boxing legends. Mayweather did it. Mike Tyson did it. Now, Pacquiao is next in line. These comebacks often generate buzz, but they also raise serious concerns about safety and legacy. Critics argue that these fighters risk diminishing their long-standing reputations for a paycheck.
Oh my God. Barrios versus Manny. This is some bullshit. If this is real, I'm not sure if it's real. Barrios fighting Manny Pacquiao. This is some bullshit right here. Manny Pacquiao he hasn't been a pro in a minute, and they're coming back to fight someone for a belt. Barrios technically should win, but this isn't fair. Like,
despite Pacquiao's accomplishments and symbolic motivation, many believe this comeback isn't worth the gamble. Age, ring rust, and risk all loom large. Facing a dangerous opponent like Barrios at 46 could backfire. For a legend like Manny, Returning now feels more reckless than heroic, and maybe he shouldn't come back.
We could have Brian Norman Jr. versus Barrios, but we're getting Manny Pacquiao versus Barrios. I don't think anyone wants to see that. Manny Pacquiao is past his prime. He's not in his fighting years no more. And then can he make 147? And then you're letting him fight for the belt. To me, that doesn't make any type of sense. And then if he beats Barrios, let's say hypothetically he beats him, is he gonna unify? Because Boots, that's sitting in the lamb to the slaughter. Brian Norman, that's sitting in the lamb to the slaughter. Like, this doesn't make no sense. These young fighters, like, they can really hurt Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao couldn't even handle Ugas. Like, just think about how this is all playing out. It doesn't make sense. This fight shouldn't be made. Like, there's other fighters that Barrios can fight.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.